What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm gonna be doing something a lot different. I'm not gonna be opening up any packs or anything like that. Instead, I'm gonna be doing something that might be a popular thing or might not be. I'm gonna be doing a deck breakdown. So I built a couple decks. This is one deck that I feel a little bit more proud of sort of making. I have a Pikachu deck, ironically not in this box, that I have built, but it doesn't feel like it's done. It's like done and made, so it's like you can play it, but it doesn't feel like buffed up the way that I want to kind of have it sort of be. So for this deck though, this deck I feel like it's pretty complete. It feels a complete deck. I've played it multiple times in different sort of with different sort of trainer cards and things of that nature. So I feel like it's tested at least slightly. So I feel a little bit confident with this one. So I'm going to be showing you guys the deck. I'm going to be breaking down what the deck is filled with and why. So this deck is essentially going to be a dark and fire type deck. So the reason why I chose dark and fire type for this deck is because of my Pokemon that you will see in just a bit. He's the my main Pokemon, if you will, like the leader, if you will, of this deck. I'm just going to be separating it by trainers, Pokemon, and then showing you guys how many of each sort of types of cards I have in this deck. I feel like this deck could be interchangeable. I feel like this deck you could sort of go into it and sort of add and whatnot. And I just noticed Steph's necklace was right there, and whatnot. So right here, what I have is the energy cards, the trainer cards, and the Pokemon cards. Now, usually Pokemon does recommend that you have at least 20 of each. So it's going to be a deck of 60. So you have 20 Pokemon, 20 trainers, and 20 energy. For this deck particular, I kind of changed it up a little bit. So I have about half fire energy, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So not as half, but half fire energy. So 8 fire energies. I also have the same thing here. 8 dark energies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, well, I got 9 dark energies. There must be a reason for that. Probably because of the Pokemon that eats that up. But then I also have these also different energy types. So weakness guard energy. So this energy specifically just helps your Pokemon. Like if you're fighting, for this one specifically, since I'm fire and I'm fighting a Pokemon that's water type, I can sort of add this weakness guard energy that allows my Pokemon to not have any weakness to anything. So that's a big thing because it does two things. It gives no weakness capabilities and also adds an energy to your Pokemon automatically. And I like this one a lot, the recycle energy. The reason why I like this energy is because it's recycled throughout. Instead of like usually when like your Pokemon gets defeated, all the energy that's attached to the Pokemon also gets discarded, and you can't really bring it back unless you have like a Brock's Grit or a card that can, search the discard pile or whatnot. But if you do not, recycle energies are pretty handy. I only have one of them in this deck, considering that the other energies I sort of need, and that's something I might interchange. Might go back and add a little bit more of these special type of energies, but like I said, this one's really good, especially if you want to always have an energy in your hand. I just feel like this is one energy you could always have up your sleeve because it never gets discarded. It just goes straight back into your hand. So those are pretty much all the energies. 8 fire type, 9 dark type, leaves us with about 15. Okay, so when I was actually counting the energies, I miscounted it. So there's actually 10 fire energies in here, 10 dark energies, and the 2 other special type of energies, which I had a feeling I was miscounting it. But the sleeves kind of make it a little bit hard to sort of run through the cards, if you will. So I'm gonna try to do this as efficiently as possible. So right here, what we got is a hyper rare Olivia trainer card. Now in this deck, what you'll notice excuse me, is that I'll have cards like this, which this one lets me search my deck for 2 GX cards, and because in this deck, spoilers, I'm running 4 GX cards. So I really need, and two of them are evolutionaries, so I really need to be able to search them and have them on deck, on hand, in order to evolve as efficiently as I would like. So this card allows me to do that. This card right here, red and blue, I really wanted to have this because you get to search your deck for Pokemon GX, but specifically that evolves from one of your Pokemon that you have on play. So if you were to have like a Pikachu and you had a Raichu GX not available, but you're like in the like a pinch and you need it, and you might have a feeling that might be in your deck and not in your prize cards, then you can search your deck for it and evolve it immediately. And so that's a really cool thing to have. It also has an extra ability which allows you to discard 2 cards from your hand. And if you do this, then you can look at your deck for up to like 2 basic energy cards, and then attach them to the Pokemon that you evolved using this card. So that can be also really helpful in order to have an ability ready on deck to be had. And I believe, yeah, I have 2 of these just in case one of them goes to waste and I need to use the other one, or one of them doesn't get used properly or whatever. And I like Bug Catcher only because it's a draw card, so you just draw 2 cards and it gives you an opportunity to draw 2 more cards if you flip a coin and it turns out to be heads. So I like that. We also got Bill's Analysis here, which lets you look up the 7 cards of your top deck. You can reveal 2 trainer cards if you have them, and then put them in your hand, and then the other cards just get shuffled back into the deck. So if you're looking for more trainers, Bill's Analysis can let you do that in order to bring out a GX card. And I have 2 of those in case I need one of those cards and I don't have it. Bill's Analysis can allow me to look for that, so I can look for my GXs to evolve. And so Sabrina's Suggestion, I also really like this card. I think it's really cool. I like the ability that it has. You get to sort of like choose one of your opponent's or your opponent's support cards. Whoops. And you get to sort of like choose whatever the technique is. If it sort of like fits what you have at play, then you can use that technique to your advantage, and which allows you to have the effect of the card for your turn. So that's really cool. I'll have 2 of them just because I really like the playability of that. I also have a Pokemon Communication in case I have like a Pokemon card that's sort of not being used very well, and I want to like search my deck for another one. I can do that. So it's easily switchable Pokemon there. I have 2 of those running on this deck. I also have a Choice Band, which is a Pokemon tool. So you attach it to a specific Pokemon, and it can be used for a specific ability. And this one specifically allows the active Pokemon do 30 more damage than its original damage from its attack. So if I were to attack and it had like a 30 damage ability, it goes up to 60 if this is attached. And it's really good because like, especially if you're running nowadays, a lot of people run a lot of GXs in their deck. This one specifically does a lot of damage to those GXs cards. So if someone's like beating me up with their GX card and I don't have my GX on deck yet, I can have this ability attached to a Pokemon that I like, and I can do some damage back. So here is my favorite cards of them all, is Brock's Grit. You shuffle 6 cards of either Pokemon or energy from your discard pile, and you put it back to your deck. So this allows you to not run out of steam from your deck, because if you do run out of cards from your deck, you lose. But it also allows you to always have energies recycled. That's probably also why I don't run that many recycled energies, is because I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4 Brock's Grits. I run 4 of these because I just find that the more that you have of these, the easier it is to sort of be able to do some things with your Pokemon, because you can have energies on deck. So another card that I found that's really cool that I actually had used against me when I was playing Steph was Koga's Trap. And Koga's Trap basically is like a psychic fairy type, trainer card, which it just makes your opponent's active Pokemon confused and poisoned. So if you're in a pinch and you need some sneak attack, Koga's Trap can do the trick for you. And I'm running 2 of those on this deck. I also have some heal cards, just because I feel like healing is a big thing that gets overlooked. I feel like it's an important thing when you're playing against a deck that's stronger than you and you want to withstand a storm, because you know you have stronger cards coming later on. So this one heals 50 damage to an active Pokemon GX card. Because I am running 4 GXs, I think this card is much needed. So I'm definitely running that one in this deck. I also have a Pokemon Center Lady, which also heals 60 damage and removes all special conditions from one of your Pokemon. So if one of my Pokemon's really badly burned, poisoned, or confused, and I don't really want to wait until my turns or whatever, and I can't flip heads to save the life of me, then I can use Pokemon Center Lady, and I'm running 2 of these because I feel like they're very useful against like fairy and psychic type Pokemon. Giant Bomb. Now this one I found very useful when you're kind of in a pinch against a GX specifically that has a high rate of attack power. So you attach this card. So basically you attach this card to one of your Pokemon. It's only a 2-turn use, so the moment you turn it down, it stays in that turn that you put it, and then at the end of your opponent's turn, it gets discarded. But this is only used, I only use this if I know that I absolutely need it, because this card sort of it takes 180 more damage from an opponent's attack. So if you were to take 180 more damage from an attack that specifically, let's say it's probably coming from a GX or a 3rd evolutionary state, then and your Pokemon is knocked out from this attack, then you put 10 damage counters on the active Pokemon. And if you don't know how damage counters work, basically each damage counter gives a 10 attack rate to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if I were to put 10 damage counters, that's 10 times 10. That's 100 hit point straight to the Pokemon that attacked your Pokemon. So that's very useful if you want to bounce back and knock your opponent out while they knock you out. That way, it's not just they don't just gain a prize card, but you can as well. But this is only if you really absolutely need it. That's why I only run 1 of those. And we also have a Gladion. So this one pretty much lets you look at your prize cards, and if you and you get to put one of them into your hand if you like it, like if it's a card that you absolutely need, and then you choose one of your cards and put it face down instead. Which specifically the one that you don't actually choose, I'm sorry, this Gladion gets put there instead. So I actually really like this card. I think it comes in handy when you are sort of running low on your deck and you realize that, or you just know that, or if you're like not even running low, but you're like halfway through your deck and you can't find a card that you're specifically needing at the moment, you can go ahead and check your prize cards right there and that with Gladion. And we also have Blaine's Quiz Show to end the trainer cards. Reason why I have Blaine's Quiz Show is I think it's a really cool card. I think it's a fun little card if you want to test your opponent's knowledge. It pretty much, you choose an attack from one of your Pokemon in your hand, and your opponent has to guess the name of the attack. And if they don't, or no, not the name of the attack, I'm sorry. You tell them the attack name, and they have to guess the Pokemon that goes with that attack. And if they guess that Pokemon right, then they draw 4 cards as a reward. But if they guess wrong, which happens most often than not, then you draw 4 cards. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's a really cool draw card opportunity to draw a lot of cards if you know your opponent is not going to be able to guess the Pokemon attack that you have on deck. And so now what I'm going to be showing you guys is all of these Pokemons that I'm running. So let me go ahead and get it organized for you before I do that. Okay, So for this deck, since I did say at the top of this video, it's going to be Dark and Fire. What I have running right now is an Alolan Grimer. I was trying to look for different dark Pokemons. I haven't pulled that many good ones that I have, and also Stephanie has some good ones on her deck, so I didn't want to steal any. But we we have Alolan Grimer. I kind of like the design of this. That's why I kind of went with it. Dark Pokemon that evolves to Alolan Muck. And now this one is pretty cool. 140 hit points. HP already for like its health, so it's automatically strong from the get-go once you evolve it. And it also has a lot of capabilities to burn, confuse, and poison your opponent with just one attack. So that's pretty handy here and there. And then we also have my favorite doggy boy, Growlithe. I love Growlithe. I think it's one of my favorite fire type Pokemon, so I definitely gotta have him in here. And also, one thing that I have in my deck is Detective Pikachu cards in this deck. Starting off with this Arcanine from the movie, it is really strong. It has an already ability which allows this Pokemon to take 30 less damage from your opponent's attacks if it's an active Pokemon. So that's pretty cool. It's a very strong Pokemon for sure. It's gonna last for sure. And then unless you're fighting a GX, obviously. And then we got a Kangaskhan. Now I really like this Pokemon, this one specifically, because it has fast evolution, which if you don't pull any sort of trainer cards, but you have this on play, you can look for pretty much more evolution cards. And in this deck, I need that capability because 2 of my GXs are evolutions. So I really need that. Or actually, no, like I think all of my GXs are evolutions. So it would be important for me to have that ability on deck. Plus, it's already a basic Pokemon and it has a lot of HP. So it's very strong from the get-go. Very useful card. The ability is useful and just it's strong. And then so we also got type Null, 110 hit HP. Cool thing about this Pokemon, I honestly just picked it. It's all energy type, so it fits with my deck regardless. But I just really like this legendary. I just really wanted to have this card that's after this in my deck, which is the shiny Silvally GX, which I'm pretty sure I can evolve from just a regular type Null. I'm pretty sure shinies work that way. I could be wrong, but I just really love this Pokemon. It's 210 hit HP. And it also allows you to retreat whenever you want because of its ability, Gyro Unit. Any Pokemon can retreat as long as it's a basic Pokemon, so that's really cool. It's also just a nice, I just really like this card. I really like this Pokemon, and so I really wanted to have it in my deck. And then what we also got is a shiny Eevee. I recently pulled this, and I wanted to include it in this deck. I love Eevees, so definitely cool to have this. It also has Energy Evolution, which is awesome. I read it the other day, and I was just completely blown away. So it says, when you attach a basic energy card from your hand to this Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon that is the same type as that energy card and put it onto this Pokemon to evolve, then shuffle your deck. So the cool thing about that is I can evolve this from the get-go by attaching dark energy, because I'm running dark energy and fire energy. So I can do a dark energy type and evolve into your big boy, Umbreon, 200 hit HP power, shiny Umbreon to fit the shiny lineage. And it's just really cool. I really love this Pokemon. I really love this card. And I definitely, because I'm running dark, I wanted to have this as one of my big boys. So definitely cool to have that Umbreon. And then we also got a Charmander. So you can probably guess what big boy I'm running in this deck. Evolving into the angsty teen Charmeleon to get, you already know who it is. Your big boy Charizard. GX card, very strong Pokemon, 250 HP, and it is from the Detective Pikachu movie card set. I just really like this card. This has been in my deck before anything. This was pretty much the leader of the deck for a while before my next Pokemon. But yeah, it's a really cool card. I really love playing it. The cool thing about this deck is I can interchange this GX with any other Charizard GX I've pulled. I'm looking for that shiny Charizard. If I do, I'm definitely changing this card to that one, but so far we haven't gotten it. So we're running this one instead. Also cool to note before I get into the next Pokemon, I just kind of spoiled it, is it has Steam or Raging Destruction. So you discard the top 8 cards of your deck. If any of those cards are fire energy, attach them to this Pokemon. So you can have energy attached to this Pokemon automatically really quick, because you kind of need it to be able to do this strong attack. This one kind of allows you to do that. And that's why you also have Brock's Grit to counter this ability. And the next Pokemon is Litten. I really love this starter, and I really love the Pokemon card that I pulled. I think was one of my favorite Pokemon cards that I pulled in a set. Is of course the Incineroar, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, evolving after the Torracat, and it's the ultra or hyper rare Incineroar full art version from Team Up, the Team Up set. 250, just like your boy Charizard, but it has this Dark Tornado GX, which I use. I love that GX capability. I think it's really, really OP, and I love it. That's why he's my leader. And pretty much what you do is you attach damage counters to this Pokemon, which sounds bad, but the more damage counters that you attach, this GX power gets really strong. So when I was playing Steph one time, she was confused because I was putting like 5 damage counters onto this big boy. That's why he's really strong. And then I did the GX, and I ended up hitting her with like a 300 strike. Ended up pulling 2 cards because I had 2 prize cards left. Beat her active GX card with this GX ability, and just like that, I won the game. So yeah. A very useful card, really powerful, dark Pokemon. So you can run any type of energy on this, which is also really cool. But also it has an ability which is Scar Charge. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may put 3 damage counters on this Pokemon. If you do, search your deck for up to 3 dark energy cards, and attach them to this Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. So automatically you can put damage counters to be able to do this GX really quick. So this is final blow card, if you will. That's why I have him as my leader, is he's my final attack, if you will. Like when I have my opponent, when you have your opponent like in the ropes, can't really counter anything that you're doing, you pull this big boy out, you defeat him with that last Incineroar punch. So there you guys go. Let me know what you guys thought about the deck. Did you guys think the deck is playable, viable? Do you guys think it would win in a lot of matches? I don't know. I like building decks. I think it's fun, and I really love this deck. So I would love the feedback to see if you guys agree. So be sure to leave a comment below answering that question. Be sure to like this video. I know it's not like your typical type of videos that I do, but it is, a fun little video here for you guys. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, now have a good one. Bye-bye.